What's up, guys? We're out here at the Great American Outdoor Show 2018, booth 4120, sitting next to Jeff, one of the owners of Antler Grow. And Antler Grow is a micro nutritional mineral that can be sprayed on anything green and growing. So we're holding Antler Grow right now. Jeff is going to run through and give you a description of basically what micronutrition is. And we got different brands here for the agricultural side, home and garden, and also the deer, and all wildlife side of things as well. So this is your Antler Grow here. So basically, what is this?
Antler Grow is a micronutrition mineral that plants ingest. People don't realize that we're a micronutrition company, and what that means is you have different brands for different walks of life. Agriculture side is what we're really big in. The home and garden side, that people don't know us from the hunting side. So each brand is different, and this is the first time we've actually had all the brands together in one building, in one room. We do a lot of buyer shows where people know us from that, but they don't. The public doesn't know that we're all the same company. And it's kind of cool to be able to bring the agriculture side and the home and garden side all under one roof.
Absolutely.
But micronutrition is basically the essence of all life when it comes to plants. In the agriculture side, it's more bushels per acre. And in the cattle side, it's the digestible proteins. And in the deer side, it's the same thing, it's digestible proteins. And we're legal in states you can't use mineral because we have an agricultural license in each state with the agriculture side. And so it just made sense to be able to have everything carried together, for each walk of life, no matter what it is. Each blend is a little different than the next, being more species specific for what you're doing, but I mean, for the public to be able to have something that does 5 acres, right, $14 an acre, on natural browse, especially, which we preach as a natural, backbone of all deer herds. But it's amazing to be able to do this. We're the only ones in the country to do this. We're the only ones that have a micronutrition package for the homeowner, for the home and garden. Their vegetables, their grasses, their flowers, and all that. I mean, then we also have fertilizer, the NPK. But you can use that standalone for certain times of the year for certain things, and then you can also mix it together with any of our micronutrition packages, so it's all blends together, and it's kind of unique in how it does everything. And it took us years to do this. It's 16, 17 years we've been doing the same thing, but to get to the public, all the legalities to do that took so long, and it's one thing led to another, but that way you can have it for everybody across the whole playing field.
Now this is 1 gallon. This will do 5 acres.
It does 5 acres.
128 gallons of water.
Yes.
And it comes out to like $14 an acre.
$14 an acre.
Now the home and garden side of things, we launched last year? This year?
Yeah, actually for the public this year.
This year. It's called Farmer's Touch.
Farmer's Touch.
So what can Farmer's Touch, what can the homeowner use Farmer's Touch on?
Well, like this is Farmer's Touch right here. You can see the package. This 1 4-ounce bottle does 10,000 square feet. I mean, it's just unheard of. It's 100% micronutrition. It's different, but you can use it on anything. When I say anything, it's just your little mist bottle, with no runoff, no waste. The plants absorb it. People look at it the first time they use this stuff, they just miss a little plant, like you didn't do anything. 2 weeks later, like, what the heck did you do? I can't believe this. Look at the growth. Look at this. My fruit holds longer. I have bigger tomatoes. My plants are bigger. And that's just for the the agriculture side, the garden side. And then when you get to the growing of the flowers, your flowers are bigger. They hold longer. I mean, we have blooms that'll hold for 2 or 3 months longer than what they would do in the past, because the plant is as healthy as it can be, so it's going to show its full potential.
Now, when you say anything green and growing for the micronutrition,
yes. Fruit trees, apple trees, orange trees, vegetables, grasses, ornamentals, all your flowering, your roses, your hibiscus. I mean, it depends on where you are in the country. Everything that you could possibly think of.
Green and growing.
Green and growing, it covers all the bases.
And it lasts in there for months.
Months.
You only have to spray like every 2 months?
Yes.
Every month and a half, something like that?
Well, we were talking to, on the agriculture side, you don't want to jump around, but on the agriculture side, we were talking to Tell last night. And we sprayed his place 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and they're still getting extra cuts out of their haylage for their cattle 2 years with one spray. Now they believe in green manure. They don't use any fertilizers whatsoever because there's all beef-fed cattle. You know, where we can do that on those places because it's organic. You know, it's organic, it's green. You know, it's all that. It's all minerals taken out of the ground, made readily available through a patented process of crystal clear technology, which is turning solid into a liquid that plants actually ingest. You know, but to see that, and then home and garden, we like to keep this a ½ ounce per gallon of water on the farmer's touch, but it's a ½ ounce. So this does 10,000 square meters. Does 8 gallons of water. You know, it's pretty cool on how it works, but. A little bit goes a long way, but you want to do it every 4 to 6 weeks is what we say on the home and garden side, because the plant is burning that fuel. You know, and micronutrition is plant fuel, for the lack of better words. Right. You know, you put fuel in your truck, you go somewhere, you have to put fuel in your truck to get home. Well, plant is no different. You know, the plant doesn't get the nutrients out of the soil because they're lacking. Right. But every time that plant grows, it's sucked more out, and then you get the runoff of the rain with all the nutrients going away. So there's nothing there for the plant. It just sits there and just kind of sustains itself. Right. It doesn't do anything, you know.
And we have a bottle of the NPK. This is something else that it's very exciting to me. They just came out with this year. This is Farmer's Touch.
Farmer's Touch.
NPK.
NPK.
How can they use this?
This is a foliar spray fertilizer.
Completely different from micronutrition.
Yes, this is 100% fertilizer. It's a 513-8, and we actually have 2 sides of it. One side is for the home and garden, and then the other side is for the 3 sides of it. One side's for the home and garden, one side is for the agriculture side, and then the other side for the hunting side. The hunting side, we've actually enhanced it with natural plant extract, which actually sweetens the plant like it's 3 days after a frost. You know how when it frosts, you know, all the sugars, the carbohydrate, all that comes up through the leaf, through the roots up to the leaves, and makes that much more palatable, you know, more attractive. Well, we've done that with this fertilizer, where we can go spray this with the micronutrition or without, you know, for certain times of the year, and make that a lot more attractive. You know, you're adding the mineral, and now you're adding the sweetness and all that. Another thing too is the reason that we're a 513-8 is phosphorus is what's needed for antler development and stuff like that. So like on our first spring spray in say, you know, whatever time, you know, right, April, May, June, whatever that you go spray, and earlier the better in that first flush. And you're adding all that phosphorus to and those plants jump up, but those and the bucks need that for lactation, for the horn development. So you're adding all the mineral plus the high phosphorus from what you already have. And to do the analysis test, you know, and people love doing analysis. They want to know. So tired of junk and so tired of, you know, just stuff that they go, okay, whatever. But that's why you try and keep it so affordable, you know, that anybody can do it, and you don't need a food plot.
No, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I like it because you can use it on an acre property, all the way up to whatever, endless amounts of property.
I mean, we, you know, on the agriculture side, we use helicopters, we use, you know, tractors with 100-foot booms, you know, and we can knock out 2,000 or 3,000 acres in a day, you know, but for the average person, they got an acre, they got 10 acres, they got 20 acres, and like us, you know, we hunt small pieces of property too, and you can benefit a lot of things in a small area, you know, and then it attracts, you know, because of the palatability and the, you know, it's the plant health. Right. And that's what we believe is giving the nutrition through the plants, which feeds the animals, all the way around the corner.
Because this is what they eat on a daily basis.
Every day.
Natural browse.
Every day.
Every single day they need.
Every single
5, 6, 7 pounds natural browse. Every single day.
Of foliage, yep, foliage. Yep, and look, you go cut the crops, the corn, the soybeans, all that. You know, you got millions of acres throughout the country just got cut. Right. So now where the deer eat, they don't take 6 months off. Right. You know, they eat the natural browse.
Briars,
everything.
Woody browse,
everything. That's another thing too. You just mentioned woody browse. You know, say the leaves fall off in the fall and winter. You know, now that woody browse, you know, all the bushes and everything, all that nutrition is locked into those plants
for months.
Yes. It never falls out, so it goes through the foliar spray, goes down to the roots, and comes back up. Goes down, comes back up. And the reason that you spray so often is because as it goes down, it comes back up, and the plant shows its potential, you know, its growth. It's burning that up, so you need to add it back to it.
And it can last longer as well. So if you start spraying in the spring and summer, every 2 months, and then now all of a sudden you're into the fall, that nutrition is built up in that plant, the stem, the root, and everything, to get it through into the winter.
What we found in all of our analysis tests we've done is most of the time when the soil is lacking the mineral, the plant's lacking in the nutrients and all that, the first spray, you actually get a diluted number. Okay. You know, because that plant is like, hey man, I just got to fill up on fuel. I'm gonna, you know, he blows up. You know, so those numbers get waned out. But the second spray, you get those numbers and they stay there for longer periods of time, like you just said. And then the third spray, fourth spray, you only got to spray it half a dozen times a year. You know, it's a benefit for the entire year. You know, 3 or 4 times a year. You know, it's crazy.
Awesome, guys. So if you want to come out to the Great American Outdoor Show, stop by booth 4120.
Any questions on here, guys?
What's the shelf life?
Yes, you can have that. Yes.
Shelf life.
Shelf life. There is no shelf life, guys.
It doesn't freeze either.
It does not freeze. Does not fall out of solution. 100% of the micronutrients, no matter what package, has 0 shelf life. We've had stuff on the shelf for years. We've put it in freezers. We've done everything. I remember you did it last year. You did a test.
Got down like 17 degrees.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see it on YouTube or on his Facebook page here. Yeah, it didn't freeze. And, you know, we were tired of junk. You know, so when we went to the drawing board 16, 17 years ago, we wanted to have the best we could possibly have. And not only for the plants, but for the animals.
Right, yeah. You can see the results.
Yes.
Get a plant now. How much is that? I mean, it's not very expensive.
Yeah, 10, 15, 20 bucks. It depends where you go and all that. I think some of the places we do are 25 bucks, which is the highest end. But we're doing analysis tests for everything, for digestible proteins, mineral content, you know, what we were before, what we were after, and we do that every month in some places. And you know, we'll do it 3 months without spraying. We'll just do analysis. Let's see how long we can get it to last. Right. You know, and the different ratios at different places of what you're doing. But I mean, ranchers love it, hunters love it, home and garden loves it. Yeah. You know, it's something that they'd never be able to have before without an agricultural license.
Yeah. Yes. And this is not something that gets confusing. It's not something you dump on the ground.
It is not.
It's nothing you dump on the ground.
No.
It covers acres and acres and acres, and it's for all wildlife.
For all wildlife.
Birds, turkeys.
Everything benefits.
Everything.
You know, everything deals with browse and food plots. You know, and food plots is nothing more than browse we create. You know, so it's pretty cool.
What are the size of bottles that you can order?
You have 1 gallon jugs. It depends what you're looking for. 1 gallon jugs, 4 ounce bottles, and we sell it in 250 gallon totes. And we also have 4 gallon cases. Which if you go online, it tells you everything right there. It's self-explanatory. I believe it's $79.99 for regular price for 1 gallon. It's always free shipping. And then I believe it's $10 off a case price per gallon. So you get a $40 savings on the case price if you have a larger piece of property. And then if you want to get into the next level, 250 gallon totes, we ship those all over the country. It's in the agriculture side and in the large ranching side for, you know, for the elk, the mule deer, the deer, you know. Okay, I'll give you a couple good examples. We deal with some people in Texas. Okay, they have protein feeders. It's high fence, you know, it's 4,000 or 5,000 acres, different ranches and all that. And we deal with deer growers, you know, small people that grow deer for a living. But okay, they'll do a helicopter survey. Okay, and they'll see that buck or this buck over here, that buck. They only see it in a helicopter survey. They never see it at all on a protein feeder. They never see it on any senderos. They never see it the entire time except during the rut. Where is that deer getting all of its nutrition? From the browse, because they don't have any food plots. Right. They got nothing. You know, the rainy season they're up in inches because there's more browse and all that. But what we found out by spraying acreage, not only feeding the deer, no matter where they are, whether it's free range or fenced or whatever, by spraying, you're giving the plant, it sustains a drought better. The leaves are bigger, which is more tonnage per acre, right, more tonnage. And all the nutrients are locked into those plants for long periods of time.
And they bite it off. They bite the leaves off, and when it grows back out,
the nutrients come back out with that leaf. Yep. And when you spray a plant, like we'll use briars, you know, blackberry bushes for example. When you spray a blackberry bush, briars, you know, everybody has in most places in the country. When you spray on the leaves are a certain size, you go in there. When that browse comes back, after they've nipped it off, you're going to notice the leaves are double, if not triple the size of the original growth. You know, and that's on the deer hunting side. The rose bushes, you know, the same thing. I mean, we got rose bushes with petals that are
The pictures you sent me of roses.
4 times the size of what they're, I mean, you got roses that are falling up, you know, and we talked to Jeremy Hupp the other day. He said he had so many apples, they were breaking the branches, and he said they held for 2 or 3 months longer than normally would. I mean, blooms create fruit. The healthier the tree, fruit production, whatever you're trying to do, creates more blooms, the more fruit, which is oranges and the apple and all the other stuff. So it just depends on what you're doing, but it's cool to be able to cover all the bases. And most people that don't really know us, they don't understand that we are 100% micronutrition. We believe through green and growing on the deer hunting side of the cattle, you know, the digestible proteins, all that. I mean, when you can wean calves faster, you can add more weight to cattle for cents on the dollar, and it saves the farmer money because they're not doing everything that they were doing in the past. You know, it's not what's traditional, what used to be done back in the day, but science has come along so far to where we can make now a bad ground into a good ground.